This is A-Game. Fast acting, long lasting, with no side effects.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we're talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Po Johnny Depp, y'all. I like Johnny Depp, okay? I have always liked Johnny Depp's acting. You know, I wasn't too fond of the rest of them pirates. The first and second one, it was all right, but the other ones, that wasn't too much my cup of tea. But I have liked him over the years in his acting. Secret Window is actually a favorite of mine. I actually liked him in Sweeney Todd. Listen, I have liked Johnny Depp's acting for a very long time. And he has been acting at the top of his game, he was, for a very long time. And then came Amber Heard. I can't stand this little heifer here. Then came Amber Heard. Now, I'm going to actually read you guys a couple of articles, because what's going on now, I'm sure you've heard, that it's a defamation suit, a trial going on between him and Amber. Amber is his ex-wife, and they got divorced officially in 2016, okay? Amber is much younger than Johnny. Amber's like in her 30s. Johnny is in like his 50s. And so I'm going to read these articles because they had a very toxic and tumultuous relationship. And then they ended up getting divorced. Lots of fights, lots of arguments. Everybody was witness to the fact that they argued with one another and things of that nature. But what put this over the edge and why there's a lawsuit now and a trial now going on is because in 2018, Amber did a piece in the Washington Post. There was basically a hit piece against Johnny, talking about how she was a survivor of DV. Now, she had just divorced this man. So she didn't name him by name in the article, but everything was alluding to him, and it was like public. Everybody was like, oh, she talking about Johnny. Now, the repercussion of that is that Johnny's career was demolished because of the accusation. And he has been trying to, ever since then, clear his name of that and maintain his innocence, that he has never been violent to any women in his life at all, because that's just not who he is. So he's been placed in the very impossible position of trying to prove a negative. So before I keep going on, let me go ahead. I'm going to share the screen so that you guys can read along with me. It's a couple of articles. I may or may not read both of them, but I am going to read this one for sure. So let me go ahead. Okay. Johnny Depp accuses Amber Heard of instigating fights and violence in defamation trial. Okay. So let me go ahead and read this article. Johnny Depp accused his former wife, Amber Heard, of instigating fights to satisfy a need for conflict as he resumed his testimony Wednesday morning in the trial of the defamation lawsuit he filed against her. Depp is suing her over an essay she wrote for the Washington Post in 2018, in which she said she had become a public figure representing domestic abuse. Although the article never mentions Depp by name, his attorney said it indirectly refers to allegations that she made against him during their 2016 divorce. When the allegations were rapidly circling the globe, telling people that I was a drunken, cocaine-fueled menace who beat women suddenly in my 50s, it's over, Depp said. You're done. When asked by his attorney what he had lost and what consequences he faced after the publication of the essay, Depp answered, nothing less than everything. What did it do to me? What effect did it have on me? I'll put it to you this way. No matter the outcome of this trial, the second the allegations were made against me, once that happened, I lost then, he said. Heard's attorneys are expected to cross-examine Depp on Thursday. In his morning testimony, Depp alleged that Heard was in fact the instigator of their arguments and occasionally escalated their fights to physical violence. It was not meant to help the relationship. It was meant to feed her need for conflict, Depp said. She has a need for conflict. She has a need for violence. It erupts out of nowhere. According to Depp's account of their relationship, Heard would pick fights and escalate them with demeaning language. He also said that she would sometimes strike out, whether it was a slap or a shove or throwing something at him. It's hard to explain, but the argument would start here, but it would roll around and become the circular thing of its own. Depp said, you get back to the beginning, now it's heightened even more, and it's still circular. There's no way in or out. In court filings before the trial, Heard said she hit Depp only in self-defense or in defense of her younger sister. In a callback to his testimony from Tuesday, Depp said he would often be the one to walk away from their arguments because it was a strategy he learned as a youth. He said that his mother was physically and verbally abusive and that his father would often sit through it calmly until he eventually left his wife when Depp was a teen. Depp recounted a fight with her in Australia in 2015 while he was filming the fifth part of the Caribbean film that led to the tip of his finger being severed. He alleged that when Heard joined him in Australia, she was distraught over the idea of a postnuptial agreement. She was irate and she was possessed, Depp said. He testified that he locked himself in numerous rooms in their rented home as Heard banged on the doors and shouted obscene insults at him. After he felt Heard had left, Depp said he went downstairs to the bar at the home where he consumed 2 or 3 shots of vodka. Depp told the court that at this point, he had been abstaining from alcohol after Heard asked him to stop drinking, describing him as a monster when he drank. Then she came down to the bar and found me there. And of course started screaming, oh, you're drinking again, the monster and all that, Depp said. She walked up to me and reached and grabbed a bottle of vodka, then just kind of stood back and hurled it at me. The bottle went past his head and smashed against the wall behind him, Depp said. He then grabbed a second bottle, a larger one with a handle, and poured himself another shot. He testified that Heard then grabbed that bottle and shattered it after she threw it. I honestly didn't feel the pain at first at all. I felt heat. And then I felt as if something were dropping down my hand, Depp said. And I looked down and realized the tip of my finger had been severed and I was looking directly at my bones sticking out. The injury sparked some sort of nervous breakdown in him, Depp told the court, and he wrote on the walls in his own blood. What he wrote represented lies that she told me, Depp said. Depp said that his personal doctor recommended that he go to the emergency room and that he lied to the doctor there about how he was injured. He later required surgery, he said, and the finger became infected. As evidence, attorneys for Depp presented photos of the severed finger and of other alleged attacks by Heard. Audio clips recorded during the fights were also played. In one, Heard is allegedly heard telling Depp that she was hitting him but did not punch him, as he claimed. You're not punched, she said in a clip played for the court. The trial in Fairfax County, Virginia is expected to take weeks. A Fairfax judge ruled in 2019 that Depp was within his rights to bring the case here because Washington Post online editions are published through service in the county. Heard was granted a protective order in May of 2016 after she alleged that Depp hit her in the face with a cell phone. She presented evidence to the court, a photo of a bruise to her face, and claimed that he pulled her hair, screamed at her, and hit her repeatedly. During the entirety of our relationship, Johnny Depp has been verbally and physically abusive to me, Heard said in a sworn declaration at the time. She also said that she lived in fear of him, saying that he had a short fuse and terrorized her. Depp has denied the allegation, saying that he never became out of control. During his testimony, Depp addressed the incident with the cell phone, saying that he tossed it on the couch after a fight in May 2016, the first time the two had spoken in nearly a month. Depp said that he told her the day before that his mother had just died and that he was planning to file for divorce. Depp said Heard was laughing at him with a friend on the phone as he gathered his belongings. It was a tough couple of days, and I really didn't feel like I deserved that kind of treatment, Depp said. He took the phone, told her friend that Heard was all yours, and then flung it down on the couch before walking away. Depp recounted to the court. I was taken aback a bit, Depp said, of learning of Heard's restraining order. Headlines and photos of Heard's allegations against him quickly circulated, making Depp feel ill. He said he described having to explain the situation to his children and that the situation felt like treachery. It controlled my every waking second from the moment I woke up to the moment I dropped, Depp said. Depp said that his attorney encouraged him not to fight Heard's allegations during the divorce, including a joint statement that was released saying neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. Now, I'm going to stop. This is a classic abuser. This poor man is now in a state of being where he has to try to convince people of something he didn't do. She accused him, so she got to prove he was doing it. You can't be the abuser and you're the one ending up in the hospital all the time. You're the one that's having a nervous breakdown. You're the one that has bruises and cuts and all this type of stuff. You're the one that's psychologically feeling the effect, and you're the one on the losing end. That's not the abuser. That's the abused. Amber is a masculine. She is masculine, y'all, in a very toxic, abusive way. And here's the thing. Because I remember those audio clips that came out a few years ago when these allegations first hit in like 2018, 2019. These allegations first hit, and he released like recordings of Amber talking about how she was hitting him, how she was abusing him. And we live in a society that says women can't abuse. That even if she is abusing a man, it's still somehow his fault for being abused, right? It's his fault somehow. She's justifying it on these clippings, on these audio clips. If you're able to find it, she's justifying that, well, I didn't punch you, but I did hit you, but you deserved it. And this is classic abuser talk. What it is that when he said he first met her, the first couple of years was bliss. She was this perfect angel. And this is what abusers do. And they gravitate towards people who are susceptible to abuses. And usually the people who are susceptible to abuses are people who have been abused before. He was raised in an abusive household. So you learn certain tactics. And if aversion and averting away from confrontation was a tactic that he learned as a response to abuse, that is a tactic that he keeps up. And I can speak from experience. I am averted to controversy. I don't like confrontations, because that is a trigger for me. It was something that I learned growing up in an abusive household, to be quiet, to walk away. When people are angry, when the abuse is directed at you, or even if it's happening around you, I learned that I have to be quiet, because that's the way that I survived those situations. He's saying that he survived those situations by being very calm, and then by walking off and walking away, because he watched his father do that. And then he underwent the same abuse because his mother was physically and verbally abusive. So he is kind of accustomed to this type of treatment. And so it doesn't surprise me that he would get with a woman with those same qualities, even though I don't think he realized that she had those qualities to begin with, because abusers don't start out abusing you. Abusers start out loving you, and they get real close to you. And what they do is they learn your weaknesses, where you're weak at, and how to exploit them. And then slowly but surely, they begin to exploit those weaknesses. They begin to, abuse you in these very key specific ways, and it makes them feel good. So what she's been doing is basically the destruction of relationships that I've been talking about on these live streams. And she's ruined this man completely. That essay that she wrote for the Post He got dropped from Pirates of the Caribbean, and his career will never be the same. He will never be the Johnny Depp that we like grew up watching and stuff like that on these various different movies. And like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Johnny Depp, all this cool. He a cool actor. You know what I'm saying? I watch a movie with him in it. He'll never be the same. His legacy won't be the same. The legacy he tried to leave to his children, it's not there anymore. And like he said, he lost everything. This is an abused person trying to tell the world how an abuser made him feel and what he was actually going through. And people are going to look at that with the side eye. People are going to side eye him with that, right? It's going to side eye him. Amber is masculine and used all 4 P's against him. She ruined his provision. She subtracted. I bet y'all ain't seen this chart in a long time. This is what happened. She added negativity to his life. She added negativity to his life. She multiplied his problems, right? She subtracted away from his provision. All right? Listen. When we talk about her, right? She subtracted away from his provision. She took the money out of his pocket just by the accusation. She's in charge. So there was no submission on her part or any problem solving that he could do because she was the problem that he could not solve, right? So there wasn't any submission. He needed protection from her, not the other way around. And she went on this whole thing telling everybody that she needed protection from him because it would be believed because of where we live and the climate and the feminist climate that we live in. So whenever she made this accusation, people just believed it. People just ran with it, right? And there's no procreation because there was no love. You can't love somebody in a toxic, abusive relationship. That is not love. That's not a connection. That is a toxic bonding of an abuser with an abused person that they can get their jollies off of treating badly. And that's really what you're seeing displayed in front of you. So, you know, I'd like to hear what everybody has to think. Sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.